Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Trumbore with your nightly review for Tuesday, April 2nd. It is 4:02 Eastern Time. Had to play some Beach Boys because I'm sick of this weather. We had one good day yesterday, and today, while it's sunny, it's like 43 degrees. I haven't been running since my half marathon in December. I'm getting really grumpy. But not grumpy is the U.S. stock market. The Dow Jones finished up 87 points to another all-time high, 14,660. S&P 500 up 8 points to 1570. NASDAQ up 15 to 3254, so all three indices were up 0.5 to 0.6%. Gold fell $25 to $15.76. Oil closed at $96.85, and the 10-year Treasury 1.86%. February factory orders up 3%, in line with expectations. They had declined in January. HMO stocks like United Health Group, Humana, and Aetna were all up big, profiting from a favorable Medicare Advantage rate decision. March U.S. new car sales were up big, the strongest March in 5 years. GM sales rose 6.4% from a year earlier. Ford up 5.7%, Chrysler up 5%. Toyota and Nissan were up just 1%. Honda up 7%. Daimler's Mercedes-Benz unit saw its sales rise 6.5%. BMW's up 13%. Volkswagen's Audi unit up 14%, and VW itself was up 3.1%. And Edmunds.com raised its 2013 U.S. sales forecast to 15.5 million new cars and light trucks, a 6.9% gain over 2012. Its previous forecast was 15 million. Fannie Mae reported an annual profit of $17.2 billion today. Its first annual profit since 2006, largest ever. Boosted by a record fourth quarter, profit of $7.6 billion. Fannie said it could report an even larger gain as soon as next month. Fannie reported losses totaling $166.6 billion in 17 of 18 quarters from mid-2007 until the end of 2011. Due, of course, to the housing market collapsing. Now the improvement in the market is cutting the other way. Fannie has received $116 billion in federal aid, but has now paid back $35 billion. So its cost to taxpayers is around $81 billion. Freddie Mac has received $71 billion, paid back about $30 billion, so its cost to taxpayers is still around $41 billion. Overseas, the Tokyo market was down 1.1%. London, Paris, and Frankfurt were all up over 1%, but they had been off for 4 days for the holidays. I don't know why Europe was up today, because the numbers in Europe continue to suck. March Purchasing Managers Index reports on manufacturing came in. I have some of them up there. You'll notice not one of them is at 50, the dividing line between contraction and growth. Germany, if you can't read it, 49. France, 44.0, that's a 3-month low. Spain, 44.2, a 5-month low. Italy, 44.5, a 7-month low. Greece, 42.1. Ireland, which has been showing some strength, went back down to 48.6, a 14-month low. Non-Euro UK, 48.3. Again, no 50s. That's not exactly recovery, sports fans. The Eurozone jobless rate was reported today. It's now a record 12%. That's for February. January was revised upward also to 12%. It was 10.9 last February. The European Commission predicts that Euro area unemployment will be 12.2% in 2013 and only 12.1, or only an improvement, if you can call it that, to 12.1 for next year, 2014. Again, none of this is about recovery. Youth unemployment under age 25 is up to 23.5% in all of the European Union, so all 27 nations. That's up from 22.5% a year ago. Unemployment in Cyprus rose from 10.2% a year ago to 14%. Some others, Austria only 4.8%, but Spain 26.3% unemployment. That's the straight rate. Portugal 17.5%. Greece 26.4%. That's as of December. The youth rates in these countries: Greece 58.4% unemployment among those under age 25, Spain 55.7%, Portugal 38.2%, and Italy 37.8%. Ireland's unemployment rate is 14.2%, at least that is an improvement from 15.1% a year ago. And of course the United States over that period has seen its unemployment rate, official rate, drop from 8.3 to 7.7. And this coming Friday we'll learn the jobless rate for the month of March. The European Central Bank is predicting that Europe's economy will shrink 0.5% in 2013, and numbers like these certainly tell you it's not going to be any better than that, and it could easily still be worse. In Cyprus, the finance minister, Michael Saras, resigned today after wrapping up negotiations on the 10 billion euro bailout agreed to with the international lenders, especially the IMF and European Central Bank. Cyprus expects to receive its first tranche of bailout funding next month. Estimates of the contraction in Cyprus this year are ranging from 7.5% to 15%. That's obviously depression. The EU and the IMF are going to attempt to restore the soundness of the banking system by, quote, thoroughly restructuring, resolving, and downsizing financial institutions. And of course, Laiki Bank, the island's second largest, is wiped away. And Bank of Cyprus, the biggest lender, its uninsured depositors over 100,000 euro will see losses of at a minimum of 60%. Michael Saras, the finance minister, his resignation came hours after President Nikos Anastasiadis urged a committee of judges investigating the banking disaster to examine transactions handled by his family law firm as a priority. There are allegations that a company managed by his son-in-law made use of inside information to transfer more than 20 million euro out of Laiki Bank shortly before its collapse. Anastasiades has strongly denied any personal wrongdoing. He appointed 3 Supreme Court judges to investigate. They are to deliver a report within 3 months. The president's family came under scrutiny following the publication in a Cypriot Communist Party newspaper of a list of more than 100 companies and 3 individual account holders who pulled more than 500 million euro from Laiki in the 2 weeks before Cyprus agreed on March 15 to a haircut of the bank deposits. Isn't that interesting? Granted, the strength or lack thereof in the Cypriot banking system has been known for a long, long time. A company controlled by the Loutsius family, his son-in-law, I believe, they operate 2 car dealerships in Cyprus. They pulled out about 21 million euro on March 12 and 13. Anastasiades' daughter, Elsa Anastasiades, or Loutsius, a partner in the family law firm, is married to, Yanis Loutsius. And they're all denying wrongdoing. And the Loutsius family transferred of that 21 million, 10.5 were from Bank of Cyprus, and another 10.5 million was transferred to Barclays Bank in London to buy real estate. How convenient. In Italy, President Giorgio Napolitano. His term expires in 6 weeks, so he just appointed 10 advisors, a 10-person committee, to carry on the search for common ground and to try and form a government, or at least make recommendations. So this just drags out the uncertainty over budget discipline in Europe's 3rd largest economy. There has been no government since the election February 24th and 25th. Nouriel Roubini, a noted economist, speaking at a conference in Turkey, said investors should be worrying much more about the political stalemate in Italy than Cyprus. Napolitano seems to be trying to buy time for Pierluigi Bersani and his Democratic Party and the forces led by former Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi to get them to form a coalition. James Walston, a professor at the American University in Rome, said Napolitano has chosen to delay the day of reckoning. The president knows that there has to be a reliable majority, Bersani and Berlusconi, in order to protect the Italian reputation on the world bond markets. The Italian 10-year bond has been responding surprisingly well the past few days. I believe it closed today with a yield of 4.62%. So Napolitano is trying to put Bersani and Berlusconi together through this 10-person committee, and on the committee there is not one representative of the unfunny comedian Beppe Grillo's 5-star movement. So that is interesting. Grillo is none too happy. Napolitano reiterated that he will serve as president until his mandate ends, which is supposed to be May 15th. UN Chief Ban Ki-moon said the North Korea crisis has gone too far after Pyongyang announced plans to restart the main Yongbyon nuclear complex. Bonn called for urgent talks. He said things must begin to calm down. There is no need for the DPRK, or North Korea, to be on a collision course with the international community. Nuclear threats are not a game. A South Korean foreign ministry spokesman said that if true, North Korea's move to reopen Yongbyon, the reactor has been mothballed for 6 years. If true, it would be highly regrettable. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Han Li called for restraint from all sides to resolve the complex and sensitive situation. Russia's foreign ministry warned against the escalating tensions. The Russian ministry spokesman said the main objective is to avoid the forceful military scenario. It is not acceptable to use the situation there on the Korean Peninsula to try to reach someone's specific military and political aims. Restarting Yongbyon gives the North several options. It can secure more material, obviously, for the nuclear program, but it also is a source for plutonium, and that reactor had been closed about 6 years ago. The agreement had fallen apart, though, about 3 years ago, a disarmament agreement, because the U.S. did not believe Pyongyang was fully disclosing all of its nuclear facilities, which was then confirmed when U.S. scientist Siegfried Hecker from Stanford was shown in 2010 a new uranium enrichment facility. Hecker said based on what he saw, he believed North Korea could resume all plutonium operations within approximately 6 months if they reopened it. Plutonium is considered better for building small warheads. Hecker has estimated that Pyongyang has 24 to 42 kilograms of plutonium, enough for perhaps 4 to 8 rudimentary bombs. Well, that's all for today. I'll be back with you tomorrow, Wednesday. I hope it's warmer. Take care.